So yeah, thank you so much to everybody who's here today. So back in November 2020, as you know, I opened my restaurant against the provincial orders. And there was a great protest there for 3 days. There was a fundraising effort that started actually while I was in jail. I didn't even know about it. And one of the officers in the jail that I was being held at came over and told me, like, hey man, there's over $100,000 in your GoFundMe. And they kept coming over and giving me updates through the night that I was staying there. So that was just amazing to know that there was so many people behind this. And I've never been involved in any legal actions before. I'd never dealt with any lawyers. So this was all new to me. And I certainly got taken advantage of. Over 5 or 6 different lawyers. They effectively drained that account, screwed up, didn't file paperwork properly. I had guys who I think were there just for the sole purpose of taking advantage of us and taking that money. So our original budget was to have this whole challenge heard. And as you know, in 2021, that challenge did make it to the court after months of examinations and cross-examinations, only to be told that the judge presiding over the case didn't have any jurisdiction to hear the challenge. It was a huge disappointment. It was a letdown. We'd spent almost all the fundraising money getting up to that point. And now we're on the hook for 2 massive cost orders of $15,000 each. And there's probably going to be another order seeking insurance for costs for this challenge of another $15,000. Now, as you know, my name, Adam Skelly, and Adamson Barbeque Limited are on this challenge, but that business is long gone. It's not something I can or will return to. But I do have standing in court to challenge the Reopening of Ontario Act. And that's our intention, is to challenge the constitutionality of the emergency legislation in Ontario. We have a number of experts who have now fully been paid thanks to some of the crowdfunding. The new lawyer, Ian Perry, he's been paid in full for this challenge. So at this point, we just need to resolve these outstanding cost orders so that we can have the hearing timetabled, which will be for spring of 2023. Now, as you know, we have 5 different PhD experts that just shred the entire narrative around COVID and everything that supports it. The fact that there was never any cost-benefit analysis performed for the lockdowns, the PCR tests and the cycle thresholds, the statistical analysis of a pandemic that was never really a pandemic at all.
Buddy, let me tell you something. You need to shut down. You're putting people's lives in jeopardy. I always try to be nice the first time, but this guy is just totally ignoring public health officials.
So this all needs to be brought before the courts. I think it's very worthwhile to take another stab at this constitutional question, and we'll be able to break the Section 1 arguments of the Crown, because as you all know, there's really no evidence that supported masking, lockdowns, or basically anything that's happened for the last few years. So a big shout out to Chris Weisdorf and Sharon Peters with Concerned Constituents of Canada. Without them, this challenge wouldn't probably be going forward. Chris has been instrumental, and Sharon as well, in getting the funds raised to get this thing back into court, which obviously the government doesn't want to have in there. As you can tell, that they didn't want to hear the challenge the first time around. So thanks so much to Concerned Constituents of Canada, everybody involved, for showing up to this and putting their money where their mouth is.
Freedom, 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 freedom.
This challenge really has nothing to do with my business at all. Adamson Barbeque is finished. All these funds are going right into a nonprofit, which has the sole intention of bringing this challenge back before the courts. So thanks so much, and thanks for being here. Much appreciated.